Hi YouTube and welcome to yet another product review. Today we're reviewing a bike part, the F1s handlebars, which is an integrated cockpit with a stem and handlebars. They're made of carbon, therefore they're targeting the lightweight and just racy market, I guess. So I'm gonna break down this review into a few sections, starting with the reasons why I got these handlebars, as in what I was looking for at the time, the pros and cons of these specific handlebars, other pros that don't really apply to me, and a general review of the product. So starting with what I was looking for when I got these handlebars. I wanted a one-piece cockpit made out of carbon. I wanted it to be lightweight. I wanted it to have internal cabling and have a little bit of flare from the top of the handlebars to the drops, and I wanted the size of it to be of a 110 to 120 millimeter stem with a 36 to 38 centimeter handlebar. So FarSports is the only brand that I found that meets all of these needs. I've been using these handlebars for about a week now, and I've been able to list what for me are the pros and cons of these handlebars. I'll start with the cons. The cons are very personal and not technical at all. One of them is the fact that these are quote-unquote Chinese handlebars. They are made in China, yes. They are certified UCI legal. They literally won a gold medal in the Olympics last year, and they have a very high safety rating. To me, that's not a problem, but for some people that might be a problem. The other con that I have here doesn't really apply to me either, which is the design. It has a very specific design that is different to most brands. I personally like it, but you might not, so there's that. And that's really all the cons that I can think of. I'll now list my personal pros of these handlebars, starting with the size options. Like I mentioned, I was looking for something with a stem of 100 to 120 millimeters. You can go all the way up to 120, starting at, I believe, 80 or 90. On the handlebars, I was looking for 36 to 38 centimeters. You can start at 36 and go all the way up to about 42 or 44. Like I previously mentioned in the cons, these handlebars, even though they were Chinese, they are very reliable, and that is something very important to me and I believe to the general public, so I put that in the pros category. They're very lightweight. The smallest combination possible of the smallest stem with the smallest handlebars weighs at around 300 grams, which is very competitive to bigger names in the market. So these handlebars do have a flare at the bottom of the drops. I personally got the 38 centimeter wide handlebars, which then means that the drops flare out to 40 centimeters. These handlebars come with a Wahoo / Garmin / whatever you have mount installed on the handlebars. When you open the box, it comes with the option of installing a little light / camera / whatever mount at the bottom of that. All of that is included in the box for you to use. And finally, there's the possibility of having internal cabling in these handlebars. I personally installed it and found it quite easy to do. I don't know if it was because of my bike, if it was because of the handlebars, it all came together. FarSports was very helpful and sent the right headset cap for my specific bike, which they sell on their website as well, and it all worked flawlessly from the frame all the way to the ends of the hoods. Those are my pros and cons, but I do have some pros in mind that I think could be important for other people that don't really apply to me. Number one being the fact that you can install a mechanical group set. I'm personally using an electronic one, but you can do either. Another one is the fact that it kind of has that all black look. To me, that didn't really matter if it had black or white. I would have been cool either way, but it is all black, matte, pretty clean. That's important for some people. And finally, the price. It is $399, which sounds steep, but if you compare it to any other brand that makes something of this kind, it is much cheaper than the competition. So price would be a pro in my opinion. And before sharing my exact specs of the handlebars and my little review on how they ride, I'd like to share just a little bit about FarSports and the fact that I had a really good experience. I'm not being biased. They didn't pay me to say any of this and just asked me to make a video stating my honest opinion, which is what I'm doing here. There are some pros and cons, blah, blah, blah. But I think one of the biggest advantages of working with FarSports is the fact that their communication is very good. I got a couple pairs of wheels from them that I paid for, and I had a really good experience communicating with them, deciding what I wanted, having their help from their engineers telling me what would and wouldn't work for me. And the same happened with these handlebars, where they figured out what the best headset top cap would have been for my bike printed it in 3D or something like that and sent it over to me. There was a lot of back and forth because I wasn't sure what would have worked better, if a 110 to a 120 millimeter stem, 36, 38, whatever centimeter handlebar. I wasn't sure. They helped me figure that out and were very patient when I kept changing my mind with it. In the end, I'm really happy with what I got. So the specs of my handlebars are: I have a 38 centimeter wide handlebar which flares to 40 centimeters on the drops, and then I have a 110 millimeter stem attached to that. I use this with an electronic group set, and I have internal cabling going throughout all of my bike. Those are the specs of the handlebar cockpit on my personal bike. My quick review of these handlebars after using them for about a week is quite concise. I like them, honestly. I've used a lot of handlebars. I wasn't sure on the shape because it changes quite a bit, and I'll explain that in a little bit, but I really liked it. So in my opinion, it is comfortable. The handlebars are comfortable, even though they're aerodynamic, and usually that's synonym with discomfort somehow. They are comfortable to me. On the tops, they're flat and not too thin, so you can get a good grip while riding that part of the handlebars. On the drops, they're much thinner than I personally expected. They're actually oval, and the flatter edges of those ovals face the outside and inside of the bike as opposed to the front and back. I've found to like this a lot, especially when sprinting. I feel like I get a really good grip. I could see how some people would not like this. It could be uncomfortable to some people, and it is very different from the top. That's just personal taste, I think. So that's pretty much how I feel about the shape of the handlebars. The other thing that I've found on these handlebars is a little bit more of snappiness. So as you guys might know, I like to sprint a lot. So that's something important for me, to hold the drops and be able to put power down really quick. With these handlebars, I feel like it can move the bike underneath me better than I could with the handlebars that I had before. So yeah, that's my review. Let me know if you have any questions. I'll try to answer them in the comments or on my social media, and I'll see you guys on the next video.